Let's talk now about the economic repercussions of Brexit. The vote, 52 to 48, roughly, to leave the European Union for the UK. Stocks worldwide down 600 points was the Dow on Friday here in the United States. As of a few minutes ago, down over 300 points today. The value of the British pound and the euro crashing down. Prime Minister David Cameron's successor is going to need to decide when and if to invoke Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, which would start the proceedings for the UK to leave. There are some real questions here. What happens to UK citizens working elsewhere in the EU? And similarly, what happens to citizens of other EU countries working in the UK? We don't have an answer to that right now. It depends on what sort of deal is brokered. Right-wing parties like UKIP want very serious restrictions which would force out non-UK EU citizens who are working in the UK. Whether that happens, this is all to be negotiated, Louis. London has been the hub for lots of world banks in the EU. So you have a bank that says, we are in the EU, our hub is in London. Well, if London's not part of the EU anymore, you're going to need to find a new hub for your EU offices. The reality is that the UK is still going to likely need and want to do the same amount of trade with EU countries. They are going to have to renegotiate how that is going to look. They are not going to be parties to the EU agreements. But I sort of subscribe to the views of Mohammed El-Arian, who is a very astute sort of economic analyst, now part of Allianz. And he's a very interesting guy if you research him. And he's been pointing out that there are a number of reasons to think that long term, there is no definitive negative path as a result of this. The UK is still going to exist. Yes, there's no doubt there's going to be turmoil as far as labor mobility. There are these issues to work out with regard to trade. But fundamentally, there is no specific reason to think that this is going to be a long-term negative sort of event, although there's no doubt that there's a lot to figure out. Now, as far as currency and the stock market, etc., if you've been watching this program for any duration of time, you know that I don't believe in timing the market. I believe that the best investment horizon is indefinitely, as long as possible. Stocks, if you believe that this hasn't fundamentally changed the values of companies that are publicly traded, this decline means that stocks are a better deal now. And most people I've spoken to, Louis, who are not in the business of sort of timing the market and buying and selling stocks, they say, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Yes, my stocks are taking a hit now, but that just means they're a better deal right now.
Yeah, they're a better deal. But if you're not planning on buying more, that doesn't really matter. And I mean, we predict they'll rebound, but if, things could get a lot worse before they start getting better.
There's no doubt. I mean, the time horizon on everything just being fine, as Mohammed El-Arian has suggested, is unclear. France has now surpassed the United Kingdom as the world's fifth largest economy as a result of the currency drop in the British pound. And of course, the issues for the US include Europe as a whole has sort of been an ally for a very long time, and this changes the diplomatic status quo. When discussing trade now, or discussing how to deal with Russia, or how to interface with what is going on in Asia and the growing power of some Asian countries, you now are dealing with the EU, and separately you're dealing with the United Kingdom. Not that our relationship with the United Kingdom is not one of a clear alliance, but this is yet another way in which diplomacy is going to be complicated by the U.S. But a big picture, when I step back, I don't believe that this is the beginning of serious economic disaster. And again, to quote Mohammed El-Arian, this is not nearly as bad as the 2008 banking crisis. The 2008 banking crisis was a sort of empirical and objective problem with the economy. This is instability, no doubt, and this leaves a lot to be renegotiated and figured out. But fundamentally, this is not an objective negative economic event, although certainly the markets are reacting in that way. Send me your thoughts on all this. We'll continue talking about it. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses, and I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses.
You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me, and I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.